and friends.
Go, Jamie!
We have said that the world is darkening. The essential episodes of this darkening are the flight of the gods, the destruction of the earth, the standardization of man, the preeminence of the mediocre. Darkening of the world means an emasculation of the spirit, the wasting away, disintegration, repression, misinterpretation of the spirit. We live at a time when all things have sunk to the same level, a surface resembling a blind mirror that no longer reflects, that casts nothing back. The prevailing dimension has become number and extension. Intelligence no longer means a wealth of talent lavishly spent, the command of great energies, but merely that which can be learned by everyone, the practice of a routine, always accompanied by a certain amount of sweat and a certain amount of show. In America and in Russia, this development grew into a boundless etc. of indifference and always the sameness. So much so that quantity took on a quality of its own. From a metaphysical point of view, Russia and America are the same. The same dreary technological frenzy, the same unrestricted organization of the average man. At a time when the farthermost corner of the globe has been conquered by technology and opened up to economic exploitation, when any incident whatever, regardless of where or when it occurs, can be communicated around the globe at any desired speed. When the assassination of a king in France and a symphony concert in Tokyo can be experienced simultaneously. When time has ceased to be anything but velocity, instantaneousness, and simultaneity, and time as history has vanished amongst all peoples of the earth. When a boxer can be considered a nation's great man, and mass meetings attended by millions can be looked on as a triumph, then, yes then, through all this turmoil, a question still haunts us like a specter. What for? Whither? And what then? Ladies and gentlemen, I offer you no answers. I have merely questions. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you an enigma, wrapped in a riddle, shrouded in mystery. I give you Bard Omar!
and this is entitled, I Can Need You and Not Want You. The sexual organs of my body are only doors through which life enters and issues forth. Timothy B. Levitch, an excerpt from his essay on his own self-worth. And I am her devotee, a goddess worshipper, and it's Friday night. This next one is entitled, New York City is a series of disasters that never quite happen.
Stop the feedback! Feedback!
That's what the hell you do.
Manhattan is a great teacher, and I am her devotee, a goddess worshipper, and it's Friday night. Opportunity is your own creation. This is entitled, You Are the Godless, Joyless Being, and my life is made of glass. This is entitled, I am drowning in a pool of my own liquidity, and it is my destiny to drown in the liquids of myself. This one is entitled, Today is the day I find out that the periodic table is a secret love poem. Today is the day I've discovered that there is a sacred, serious conspiracy amongst my close allegiances and friends to keep me from getting laid. And this is the day I realize that my heart is part of that conspiracy. Today is the day that other swamps refer to as mushy. An afternoon not really stumbling, but crawling into an evening. And this is entitled, Manhattan, you are still in search of a theory. You should yield to a formula for an architecture that is once ambitious and actually still popular. Manhattan has generated a shameless architecture. We have a lot in common that way. Manhattan, there has been love in direct proportion to its defiant lack of self-hatred. Manhattan respected exactly to the degree that it went too far. Well, we have a lot in common that way. Manhattan reveals a number of strategies and theorems and breakthroughs that give logic a pattern that leads it to insanity. A desperate relationship with irrationality, where rationality ignores itself, turns its back. In the technological frenzy of the time, the natural movements of the human body appear laboratory. 300 midgets who have been scattered across the continent as attractions at world fairs are offered a permanent experimental utopian community here. A bit of old Nuremberg in the 15th century, my dear. Since the scale of Midget City is half the scale of the real world, the cost of building this cardboard utopia is, at least theoretically, quarterly. So that extravagant architectural effect can be tested cheaply. The midgets of Dreamland have their own parliament, their own beach, complete with midget lifeguards and a miniature Midget City fire department, which responds every hour to a false alarm. Effective reminder of man's existential stupidity, dwells constantly within the hearts of the midget. But the true spectacle of Midget City is a social experimentation within the walls of this midget capital vacation. The laws of conventional morality, systematically ignored, a fact advertised to attract visitors. Promiscuity, nymphomania, and so on are encouraged and flaunted openly. Almost as soon as they are celebrated, 80% of newborn babies are illegitimate. To increase the prison induced by this organized anarchy, the midgets are showered with aristocratic titles, highlighting the gap between implied and actual behavior. Midget City represents an institutionalization now of misbehavior, a continuing vicariousness now, experiencing for a society preparing to shed the remnants of its Victorianism. We have a lot in common that way. On guitar, Dave Miller. The man who first distilled oxygen from the air and thus became an air's action. On bass, Jeff Hoffman. A permanent vacation, given flesh. On keys, Christina. I stared into her eyes once and realized that I was descended from Charlemagne. On percussion, James, Marty, Brian. shamans, here to celebrate the ancestors and play a little bit of Twister with your rhythm. Common sense, absolve your violence. My name is Bard Omar. I am one of the thirstier identities of Timothy Speed Leathers. I am the most romantic itch you've ever itched. In the landmark of transcendence, you and I, all of us, are tourists, wide-eyed. Boredom is a delusion. Bard Omar just wanted to mention. Common sense absolves your violence. As I fly into consequence on an airline jet from Spain. Common sense absolves your violence. An encapsulation and the camouflaging of your desires as you stare off to the wall. Notice your destiny out of the corner of your eye. Common sense conspiring with your violence. A cardiologist secretly afraid of hearts, utilizing people's operations just to get a practicing start. Bad surgery. The operation you did on me turned me into a Frankenstein, far too aware of love. By the way, common sense, this is the most justifiable silence I have ever experienced. Violence, violence, violence all over again. As I reach for a pen to write down this poem, an attempt at truth, woven out of the fabric of lie. How dare you call this an outcry? Common sense absolves your violence. You are the ingredient that makes confusion really confusing. Is it me I'm missing? Oh, I can see on the long horizon your common sense uprising to meet violence. You're two cowboys in leather, feeling each other with such potential, riding off into a sunset, bravely painted to simulate bravery. A movie set with a ceiling clearly set to fall in love with the floor, as the floor permanently and for all time wants to become the ceiling. Feeling is healing. Violence is simply unhappiness trying to justify itself in your existence. Common sense absolves your violence. Good day, cowboy. And remember, keep your hand on your gun. Your common sense says to your violence. Thanks for the advice, cowboy. I will utilize your memory to employ further joy. And by the way, I like your style. I really do. I like your smile. I think it's the one that set those 1,000 ships launching. I've been watching you, and I am homoeroticizing, bravely simulating my bravery. I am the living self-slavery at an auction run with caution, and your purr, meowing, meowing, meowing. Violence, said the common sense. I'm waving them goodbye, the two cowboys, as they set forward to hypnotize Western Nevada. Common sense nudges his hat. I love you, Violence. You've been with me in the worst times and saved my ass so often. Violence nudges his hat to common sense. I'm just organized anarchy. Don't take me seriously. I can taste you from across the continent. Violence embraced common sense. The rerouted passion that invented the world that we currently live in. Attempting to be a man, happening right now a few blocks away at the Angelica Theater. There is a series of multiple personalities having an enticing dialogue happening at the Angelica Theater right now. There is an attempt at an almost something that floods into a deluge of somewhat whatever. In very refined counties they call it babbling, happening right now at the Angelica. I am going to tell a shamanistic tale from the 6th century BC. Someone else who was promoting a film at that time, a shaman, and the nonsense he ran into, which is to say the ridiculousness he fell in love with. On the train entering Philadelphia, to take my test to breathing, doing everything to lower my expectations.